Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Mullins Over Music podcast, episode 21. We're here with John and Dallas of Diatheke. We talk about gear, we talk about getting the band together, we talk about all the fun stuff. So, let's check it out and hop right into it. This podcast is not sponsored by anybody, so rip me. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to the Mullins Over Music podcast. I'm your host. At least for now, I am until the robots take over. Um, Austin, and I'm here with a very special band. But I'm gonna let them introduce themselves to you guys because I always find bands have better introductions than I do. So go ahead, guys.
Hey everybody, we are Diatheke. I'm John. I do bass and vocals.
I'm Dallas. I do guitars.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I was very happy to get you guys on. So our first question, we always gotta ask this question. What's a fun fact about yourself? You guys have been doing this all through elementary school, middle school, high school. It's prepared you for this moment. I need a fun fact about yourselves.
Hmm. Dallas, you're way more interesting than I am. You go first.
No way, man. No way. John's so interesting. He's got perfect pitch. I'll tell you that.
Okay, you want to throw that
Well,
out?
there you go. That's already an interesting fact.
Hey, John, do a G sharp for me. Do it for daddy.
Sort of. It was probably sharp.
Yeah,
No.
as you it's a little more off as you deafen yourself.
Now back in high school, it was I specifically remember gym class. Once people found out, they kept squeaking their shoes all over the basketball floor. They're like, "What's this, John? What's this?" I'm like, "Who cares? You legitimately don't care. You only want to torture me."
That's funny.
That sounds about right too.
I've never heard that story. That's hilarious.
That is that is pretty funny. Okay. I dig that. Well, Dallas, did you give us a fun fact? My brain stopped working for a second. I need that fun fact, man.
You need it? All right.
People want to know.
Come on, Dallas. You have a really good one, and if you don't say it, I'm gonna.
Wait, what's the good one? I can think of at least two good ones. What's one? What's your one good one?
I don't know. I guess we could pick the fact that you claim to remember being in the womb.
Yeah, I remember being in the.
Like, dude, it is pitch black. There's no possible way you remember that.
Yeah. Oh, I remember being in the womb. That's funny that you would remember that. I have brain. Another fun fact is I have brain damage, so my memory is actually not that good anymore.
Fair enough.
Pretty sure that was one of the first things Mike and I remember about you. It
That's
was
hilarious.
like it was this big thing. You were like, "Yeah, I remember being in the womb," and I'm like, "What? There's no possible way."
Oh man, yeah. Fun fact. Fun
That is
fact.
a fun fact. Okay. Well, the next question is always a funny question that has nothing to do with music because
Right. Those are the best ones.
people like to laugh. If you don't laugh, where's the fun? So, if you could make the ultimate sandwich, what would you put on it?
Peanut butter and jelly.
Come on, man.
Classic. Okay. Okay.
That's it. But if you said that that wasn't allowed, I
Okay.
would I would put smoked Gouda on honey wheat. I'd put turkey and ham and Hellman's mayonnaise. You know what? Never mind. I'd go to Jimmy John's instead.
Fair enough.
You're just describing like a meat volcano or something.
Meat volcano. I don't even. It's been a while since I've been to Jimmy John's. I don't even remember what their food's called.
That's
Subs.
fair. You know, them sandwich things. They come in 6 inches or 12 inches.
Yeah, yeah, those things.
Well, John, what's your sandwich? Come on.
All right. Well, there's this place in uptown Dallas called Eatsy's, and back in my Dallas days, probably the best thing you would get is I'm pretty sure it's just like ciabatta bread with a like sun-dried roasted tomato mayo thing. Ooh, so good. Turkey, sharp white cheddar, tomato, lettuce, sprouts, and
Sprouts. You like dirt flavor on your sandwich?
and I think I got pesto on it too.
All right.
Anyway, it was
I-
just,
But no,
but these sandwiches are legitimately like 5 inches thick. I'm pretty sure I almost got lockjaw one time.
I want you to keep in mind whenever he says what type of sandwich he likes, this man does not sleep with a pillow.
No, that is actually false. As of October of 24, that is
So it's
actually
no
false. I've
longer
been
false, but it was.
consistently
Did you
sleeping with a pillow.
accidentally sleep with a pillow and you're like, oh, I've been missing out?
No, this is what happened. This is what happened. So, Austin, you don't know this yet, but I just moved to Oklahoma City
Okay.
about a couple weeks ago from way upstate New York by the Canadian border. Um, Allergies kicked my butt last year big time, like literally from April through or September or something like that. I like breathing out of my nose was non-existent. Like I was just so allergized up. But yeah, I used to not sleep with a pillow all my life. I just never did. I don't know why. I just think it's not comfortable. But I noticed I slept better because of my stuffy nose if I did have a pillow because it like made just the right enough airway, I guess. So I did that for like a solid month, hoping that would make me feel better allergy wise. And then I just never stopped. So now I am completely a normal person. It only took 32 freaking years. I now sleep with a pillow. Let it be known on this podcast right here that I am now a normal sleeper with a pillow. So take that, Dallas. You can't use that against me anymore.
That's actually really disappointing to hear.
I know now you probably think I'm just some normie. So
Hey, John, what note is this?
deal.
Man, that's going to be a thing throughout this whole podcast, isn't it?
Yep.
On what note is this? Okay. Well, let's move on from our funny question. Although I might throw one in there, just throw you off the scent.
All right.
Okay. So we obviously got to ask, what's the origin story of the band? What is the lore behind this band?
Well, Dallas knows the most because he remembers being in the womb. So he can take us way back.
It
No,
all,
okay. So
It all started when he came out of the womb.
it
yeah,
all
it all started then. He saw light for the first time. He knew light, he knew life wasn't just a dark, empty vast of whatever. No, so we have this mutual friend. His name is Sam. And a very long time ago, back in high school, Sam connected Dallas and me and a couple other at a Chipotle, and we're in a different band at the time. So wrote everything out on MIDI, and we're like, "Hey, Dallas, we're looking for a guitar player. Listen to this video game music and see if you like it or not." And so we listened to it right there on an open laptop in the middle of Chipotle. And that's how we met. It was hilarious. And we were all super intimidated because back in the day, Dallas looked pretty cool in high school. We all looked normies. Dallas looked like an anime character back in high school. So we were like, this guy's not going to join us. We're a bunch of doofuses, and he's way too cool for our own good. But he amazingly wanted to join anyway for some reason. So that's how we all met, and years go by, years go by. Um, that band broke off, bunch of long story stuff later. Uh, Diatheke started in 2017, and we released one song called Bereavement, and we stopped for a while. And then, right a couple months before Magnify dropped, I reunited with Dallas at a Torchy's Tacos, and we are like, dude, why aren't we jamming anymore? What is going on? We cried, we laughed, no, just now I'm being dramatic at this point. But Dallas was like, no, I want back in. So there's kind of a long history with that. But I've known Dallas for, I don't know, probably at least 12, 13 years at this point, maybe more. So was
Coming
there
up
any
on
other angle of the origin story, Dallas, that you want to fill in on?
Well, I remember Sam was like, "Hey, there's this guy I need you to know. He can tell you what note it is when a shoe squeaks." But no, no, no. I honestly, I remember whenever we first met, I was like, "Oh, this actually sounds really cool," and I was surprised because everyone I ever worked with didn't know how to write music or do anything really. So I was like, "Oh, well, okay, these guys know what they're doing, so yes, I'll do it." Simple as that. They proved their worth right off the bat. But after our first band broke up, I took a break to pursue my career and just, try to work so I can actually enjoy my life and not be miserable all the time.
Oh yeah.
So and then after that, right before COVID, because I took like a 6 year break from playing music to focus on work. And then right before COVID, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted a 7 string guitar, like a good one, like a Jeff Loomis guitar. And I was like, I'm going to buy one off eBay. I bought it and I posted a picture on Facebook, and John was like, is that a 7 string, man? And I was like, dude, let's go to Torchy's. Let's
I
do.
forgot about that.
Yeah. So we reconnected, and because right before that, I would listen to Magnify because I wasn't on that song or Bereavement. So
Yeah.
I listened to it and I was like, oh, they're actually doing really good. This sounds really good. So I was like, yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about it because I used to not be interested in getting back into music at all. But now that's literally all I think about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's been going great. It's because I've tried a few other bands, and it's nice working with normal people that aren't just insane or on drugs.
That's fair. That is.
Every band I've ever been in was plagued by just the worst things.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that is hilarious, Dallas. I totally forgot that it was you posting that picture because this whole time, um, Austin, I'm an okay guitar player at best.
No,
So like, so I'm like, man, it'd be so cool to have someone like Dallas again for all this future ideas I want to do. And then he posts that picture. I'm like,
Or I could just have
maybe he
down.
would. And so that's how we got reunited.
Nice.
yeah, it because after that 6 year break, it took a minute for me to get my chops back. Because I mean, I could remember the basics, but I basically had to relearn everything again. Now, like I practice about 3 hours every day, and about two of those hours are playing through the album one time. It's like
Nice.
because I'll get through a song and I'm like, oh man, I messed that up. I have to go back through. So much time is just dedicated on learning and practicing Diatheke songs. Takes so long.
Nice. Now, I know everybody's gonna want me to ask this question. What'd you guys get to eat at the taco place?
Oh, wow.
Rush Fire and the Democrat.
Okay.
Oh, it was really dark in the womb. But yeah,
Dude,
I get the same two tacos every time I go, and street corn. But yeah, the brush
Okay.
Democrat. Those are my two favorites.
legit, the last time I was there was with you, Dallas. So I don't know. I think I got the libertarian. I don't remember though. It's been way too long, but I'm sure if it had shrimp or some kind of honey chipotle sauce or something like that, I was That's probably what I lean toward.
Honey Chipotle. That is
Yeah.
the stuff. Okay. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next question. Are there any odd instruments that you guys play? Because I find that musicians, you know, we stick to our main instrument, but sometimes we play some weird stuff. I've had somebody tell me they played the bagpipes before. So,
Dude.
I always got to throw that question out there. I
Well, I
mean,
don't
Uh,
know who
you
can
said,
top bagpipes, but
John,
nothing.
you said you play guitar, so there's that.
John plays piano, bass, guitar, double bass. I mean, it's just a matter of time before he discovers the oboe.
Uh, get an oboe solo on one of the songs.
Oh yeah, but me,
dude.
I it's pretty simple for me. I mean, I can play really basic piano. I do mostly guitar though, and now out of necessity, I play a little bit of bass with pick.
With well, we might have to cut that out. That
Yeah,
what
that's
sports right outside your house. It's okay. I do too sometimes.
I
It's
try.
all about the necessity of the
I was
song.
just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care. I'll let other bassists talk crap about me at shows, which they do.
Oh,
no, they don't.
No, not to my face, but I can feel their energy. I can feel their negative energy.
he remembers when he was in the womb. He knows the energy of
Yeah.
non-bass, pick playing bass
Yes.
players.
He had
Exactly.
all this knowledge.
The shows, I'm the only one using a pick. And I just assume people that are using their fingers are pretentious. So,
Some people are like that. I mean, I've even taught some bass players who are like, "Yeah, I absolutely refuse to use a pick." I'm like, "Well, it just depends on the song." And they're like, "No."
yeah, when I teach bass, because I teach some bass lessons too, when I teach bass, I tell them to only do it with their fingers, mainly because I don't want them to be dirty little sinners like me.
Just depends on your context and what tone you like. That's
Exactly.
who cares, man. I do think you're more versatile if you can be
Use your
good with finger technique, but whatever.
Well, John, I sent you that video of that bass player from Ginger, and he hits those strings so hard that it sounds like he's using a pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude, his technique is incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I mean, I knew a bass player that did this. He used his thumb and then he'd pick with all four of the other fingers, and that's how he'd do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get good at. See, here's the thing. It may just be my bass because I don't have like a typical Fender Jazz or whatever that sounds really good with a pick. But my Lakeland bass, I just hate the way pick sounds on it. So I'm trying to get better at the crazy like double thumbing and all that, those advanced bass techniques. And it looks cooler too, ultimately, especially in our realm of proggy death metal. It just looks cooler, I guess. But Dallas and I are always trying to keep up with how cool Mike looks because Mike writes the world's hardest, almost unnecessarily hard drum part. So he's going to be entertaining to watch. So we're like trying to keep up with the cool factor.
Dude, those drummers, man, when you got to go to one, they will write the hardest drum parts. And the thing is, half the time they won't even be able to play it when they first write it, but they will play it eventually. And
Oh,
they will be interesting.
oh yeah.
I mean, I know one drummer who writes his drum parts through MIDI and then learns the drum parts after he wrote them out in MIDI.
Uh-huh. That's what Mike did.
I'm like, that's
Yeah, does. Mike does that actively every day of his life.
He shoots himself in the foot often too. He's like, guys, this song is hard. Like, it's literally your fault.
Nobody else to blame except you, bud.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Well, of course, we like to get to know the people in the band as well as the band itself. What other interests do you guys have outside of music? Because, everybody likes to know that stuff. Do you like to garden? Do you like to crochet? What do you like to do?
I am a degenerate Pokemon fan.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
literally play Pokemon every freaking day of my life before I go to bed. Last night, I ran it. So the last time I ran on the old games,
Yeah.
uh, you're way less likely to run into a shiny. So the last time I've seen just a natural shiny, I was 12 years old, and it was a shiny Zubat. Last night, I was playing Platinum and I ran into a shiny Magikarp. And it was 11 o'clock. My wife was asleep, and I just went crazy, screaming, hooting, hollering. I haven't had an adrenaline dump like that since my formative years.
Amazing. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I've been thinking about it ever since. I can't wait to get home from work later so I can play it again.
Well, you're gonna have to level it up to the shiny Gyarados.
Yeah, I know, no problem though. I have patience.
Oh. What about you, John? Are you a degenerate Pokemon player as well?
No, unfortunately, I'm a lot more boring than that. I haven't been a gamer in a while, unless, of course, there's Smash Bros at a party and I just wipe the floor with everyone with Jigglypuff like I
Oh,
always
okay.
do.
Okay.
So,
He's the degenerate Jigglypuff player.
yes, I am always drawn toward the characters that people either think are dumb or think that they can't be any good. I'm like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm gonna beat you all with Jigglypuff, who dies at 70% or whatever. But no. So yeah, I guess work-wise, I do life and health insurance, and I'm also a piano tuner, so it's like a very weird mix. I've done a lot of things growing up, done a lot of different kind of work. So, um, but yeah, I guess as far as I will say this, no one assumes that I'm into death metal because I just do not fit the stereotype at all. In fact, Dallas, you'll find this kind of funny. I don't think I've told you this yet, but about a month before I left my church position up in New York, that was around the time we were really promoting the full-length Diatheke record that just came out. And a couple of the older ladies of the church who follow me on Facebook saw it. And when they saw me in person, they were like, Pastor John, that's quite interesting stuff you have out there. Like, oh yeah, that's just, something a little fun I do, it's no big deal. It's like, oh wow. I could just tell their view of me just went from here to somewhere around here. Like, hey, it's all right, I for some reason love this death metal stuff. So, but
Yeah.
there you go. There's a couple things.
Yeah, John got me kicked out of church because of the music he writes.
You need to tell this. You need to tell this.
I gotta hear it now.
So the band that John and I were in before Diatheke was this band called Citadel, and it was like progressive metalcore essentially. Is how I would say it. Back then we would have just said it was progressive metal, but it's definitely more metalcore than anything. But yeah, so not edgy by any means. Literally just a story that's kind of Lord of the Rings-ish, talking about this guy who goes to war, leaves his family or whatever, fight for his king, meets like a demon conjurer, whatever. And my church did not like that part, especially. They're like, so it's conjurer, huh? And yeah, they told me I was disguising myself as the enemy, and they told me to come back to church after I quit the band. And I said, no, I'm not quitting the band. And then I quit anyway.
Yeah, but they told you that before the record was even out, right? Like, was that kind of early?
It came out after it came out.
Okay.
Yeah, man, all of
That's
that
fine.
hullabaloo for less than 200 listens on the album.
That's hardcore, man. That's the punk rock thing to do.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty punk rock, if you ask me.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, let's get into the new record. And the word was God. First off, first thing I did notice is all the thes. You guys really like to use the word the.
I said the same thing. I tried to get everybody to drop the thes from the names, and then they were like, "Oh, you know what? That sounds good." And then Mike was like, "No, actually, I think that's stupid. I think much more powerful with the." And I was like, "There's a lot of thes, but okay. I honestly don't really care that much."
It could have went both. It could have went either way for me. I mean, this album has been a very long work in the making. I mean, this was going to be Citadel's next record, and back in the day when we still had our, well, I guess like the vocalist of Citadel, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, Dallas, you can correct me because you were there. I'm pretty sure it was him and Dallas who came up with the idea, and it was only supposed to be this three-song EP. And they had a couple working titles already. And so I
I
just started,
Brady came up with the 3 song thing and the names of the songs. I came up with the title.
yeah. So in its very first state of evolution, I guess, it was only supposed to be the creator, the deceiver, and the redeemer. It was only supposed to be this three thing. And it took many years of who's going to do it, what are the songs going to be, all this stuff. But we always had the idea of doing this grand story of basically time itself from the Bible perspective. So beginning moments of creation to the end of all things, when the kingdom of God becomes totally actualized on the earth. So, but yeah, it went from a three-track thing, which is funny because an EP, three is still like it's still like a half hour long. This is a long EP,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it evolved from there to now what it is today, which is a six-track, hour-long, super dense and complicated thing that you hear today. So yeah, it's been through a lot. So I would say, I don't know, 12 years in the making off and on, and a few different lineups that we experimented with through that. But the lineup that it is right now, I think, is the best it ever can be. I mean, everyone brings such uniqueness and good willpower to the project as a whole. Mike is, well, I guess we can gas up everybody for a sec. Mike is just a very good, he's basically our manager at this point. He's just very good at thinking of marketing ideas and like trying to put shows together and whatnot. Dallas is really good at, well, one, he's an incredible guitar player, but he's also really good with like engineering. So like all of our demoing and like getting ideas out like that, he's just very good. Peter, of course, is a monstrous vocalist and lyricist, and he's
Multi-instrumentalist, Canadian, speaks English and only English.
That's
but
very
yeah,
not Canadian of him.
but yeah, the way the lineup is right now is ideal in my opinion, and the album could have only happened, I truly believe, with the four of us, and it just took a long time for it to finally come into fruition.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the album. Let's talk about the sort of writing and recording process because I love the recording process for things. I like to know how it all went down. So tell me a little bit about that.
This time, so when did I get the finished album? It was like what, 4 years ago? Something like that.
Oh, as
Like,
far as like the middies,
yeah,
yeah, it's probably been 3 or 4 years.
4 years. Yeah. Whenever I got that, I got to work and I made the mistake of trying to learn the parts as I was recording. So I had to re-record the albums like six or seven times, honestly, because I'd finish a song, then I'd re-record it with a different guitar, then I'd try it again and I'd re-record it because I think I could do it better. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and do it with the original guitar I did it with. And then I was like, oh man, I recorded these two songs with different guitars. Yeah, I guess I got to re-record it all again. But eventually I got it figured out. But it was really tough. It was like a logistical nightmare trying to keep everything organized for something of this size, especially me doing it by myself. Because doing the demos, I was like not just focused on the guitars, I was focused on everything. And yeah, that was a lot. It took me a couple of years. It took me 1 year just to record the guitars because I had to learn all the parts as I was going.
Okay. Okay. How about you, John? Tell me a little bit about what it was like for you.
Yeah, so being in New York for the whole thing was definitely challenging because I couldn't really be there to either help Dallas out or whatnot. There's a lot of communication stuff, but um, we have a couple friends who have their own like audio. Uh, gosh, I can't think. Dallas, what the heck is Native Darkness anyway? What are
Audio,
they?
they're like an audio production company,
Yeah, they're like a game score composer company too. So,
but they started off recording bands.
yeah, they start off recording bands. So our two friends, Sam and Hunter. Hunter did a lot of engineering for this album. Once Dallas gave it to him, he kind of did all the edits and like putting stuff together and like the master files and all that. Then our other buddy Sam did the mastering. I recorded vocals and bass from New York with my own very humble studio setup, like legit one of those typical Focusrite Starlet TI-2 things, those interfaces, and I just had a microphone and I plugged the bass into it. I trusted the guy. Yep, that's literally it right there. I trusted the guys to pick out the bass tone that they thought would complement it. I just gave them raw stuff and was like, here are your takes, edit them as you will, and just make it sound good with the rest of it. So, you know, I mean, obviously it happened. It's out, but now that I live closer by, I'm only 3 hours from Dallas now. Future stuff, I think, will just be way easier because
Oh
you
yeah.
can do stuff remote all you want, but there's nothing. I just think it's faster if you can be in person, if practical. And then it was the same thing with Peter. He recorded all vocals with his own home setup. I don't know if you've heard of Elephant Watchtower, Austin, but that's his other solo death metal band, which is incredible. So he has stuff to record his own stuff anyway. So there's a lot of like shooting stuff across Google Drive and like compiling it all together. It was a lot of work.
Uh,
So that's what you get when you're an internet band.
Oh yeah.
uh, Shout out to Peter's other band, not Elephant Watchtower, but he's in a band with his brother called the Watson Conspiracy. Also really good.
Yep, they're sick. You guys like just straight up brutal death metal? Yeah, you gotta check that out.
Yeah, they're great. They
Sick.
got nothing else going on in Canada, so they just make the sickest metal ever.
Sounds about right for Canadians.
Yep.
Okay. Well, now we got to ask the question, what is your favorite song and your least favorite song to play?
Oh,
To
least okay.
play,
My
okay.
favorite to play is the Deceiver because it's so freaking hard. Like that song is just really fast and mostly down picking and just a drag. And then the solo at the end, 100% guaranteed to break a string.
Go an old Dragon Force on you at the end of it.
Yeah, it's that song is really brutal. I mean, it's really cool to play because it's heavy, but yeah, it's the least fun, I think. The most fun is The Promise. I like that one a lot.
I like that one too. Okay, John, least favorite and favorite to play?
Least favorite to play is, yeah, it's probably the Deceiver too. Not that it's the hardest thing in the world, but bass doesn't do a ton of special things on it. It's kind of just being low and pummeling, and I don't know, it's not super fun, but it is what it is. And then most fun to play, I don't know, empowerment's really fun on bass. There's a lot of cool rhythms that go on, but creator is also really fun. I'm going to shoot myself in the foot by saying this. We will probably never play this live because it's so dang hard. But bass in the coronation is really fun. That's by far the most involved. So it's hell to get through, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe the coronation is the most fun on bass, but Deceiver is the least fun.
The coronation has the most like hard parts in it. The deceiver is actually manageable, but the coronation has a couple of parts where I'm just like, what am I even doing anymore? This is ridiculously hard to keep time because it's not so much it's difficult, to play. It's more of like the timing of it and just trying to count while I'm doing it, especially like the tapping stuff. It's kind of weird.
Oh yeah, tapping stuff and keeping time is always. Yeah, I mean, you can listen to a ton of records that have a lot of tapping parts, and you're like, they were slightly off, probably.
Yeah, so Diatheke music, it's not like a sprint. It's not like Arcspire when it's like shorter songs that are just ridiculously hard. It's like a marathon. It's just like a really long, consistent, just it exhausts you by the end of it. Especially the promise. The promise by the end, my arm is on fire. My right hand. Like the last like 2 or so minutes are just brutal.
That's pretty much the redeemer for me. That song is very tiring, but it is 10 and a half minutes of no chill. So there you go.
No chill. I dig it. Okay, so what were some of the musical influences for this record? And some of your own personal influences, because, everybody has an influence for whatever record they write, but they also have their own, personal influences that I think provide an interesting and unique perspective to a record.
I mean, my number one, I didn't really draw any type of inspiration specifically for this album, but just playing in general, it's like I started learning guitar and became really interested listening to Pantera and, Dimebag Darrell and stuff like that. And then my modern influence that I sort of think about every time I play is Brandon Ellis from the Black Dahlia Murder. So
Yeah.
those are two guitarists that really influence everything it is. That's why I'm so heavy on the whammy bar and
Yeah.
lots of sweeps and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. John?
Yeah, so I don't know. Stylistically, it's hard to draw an exact influence, but because I'm more of a composition guy at the end of the day.
Of course.
I write stuff to put Dallas through hell. That's pretty much my I write stuff to make Dallas mad, but then he gets better because of it. So
I literally
um
am only as good as I am because of the hard stuff John sends me.
Oh.
yeah, and legit because if he doesn't do it, no one can. Like Dallas, I made this riff, I can't do it, and if you can't, we're gonna have to do something else. I would say compositionally, um, you remember a band called the Human Abstract?
I do.
Okay, so their album Nocturne way back in the day, because that album came out in 2006, I think, or it was like mid 2000s. That album to me was the perfect gateway for my mind to go into, oh, cool, this is a band that is definitely like shred metal, but their writing style is classical. So I've always leaned toward writing very classically. And I did the whole music theory 1 through 4 in college and all that. And I did composition courses. So I'm very classically minded in that way. So that's probably where I started, though. X-Toll and Living Sacrifice definitely helped with I would say like the atmospheric pacing of this album. I steal a lot of their modalities or just the way they use scales and their riffing and all that. And I would say nowadays, I really like Scar Symmetry. I love the way they write. Nielsen is a genius. And I love Fallujah. They write fantastic as well. Um, so yeah, to me, I always lean toward anything that is smart. I just like smart writing, but I also like catchy. So to me, if you can marry the two ideas of being brilliant yet catchy, because there's a lot of brilliant stuff out there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you can go on TikTok or Instagram and see all these stupid videos of like the 6-year-old who does like the eight
Yep.
finger tapping or all those stupid like whammy bar, all that dumb stuff. And
Yep.
like, it's not catchy though. You're like, no one can hum that. No one's gonna remember it at the end of the day. So when I try to write, I try to think of never underestimate the power of a hook. Like,
That's
is
right.
the song catchy, but is it also impressive in a compositional sense? That's kind of what I try to do.
Okay. Okay. Well, since we're talking about influences, I gotta ask, what's your guilty pleasure in music? You guys look like Swifty fans to me.
I don't mind Taylor Swift, but I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. My guilty pleasure, I mean, I'm not really embarrassed or anything of
Of
any
course, of
I
course.
listen to, but I really like Falling in Reverse a lot.
That's fair.
I, I
I do too.
so catchy. And Ronnie Radke, even though he's like inflammatory or whatever, I don't really care. He writes some pretty catchy tunes, and they've always had really killer guitarists in their band. And
Yeah.
they've Jackie Vincent, he was like one of my favorites for a long time. Sucks that he's not in it anymore. He's like
Yeah.
next level. I think he's not in there because he made everyone else look bad.
That sounds about right. Okay. What about you, John? You be listening to Sabrina Carpenter on the regular?
I do legitimately think Espresso is brilliant, by the
It
way.
is.
It really is.
I, I will go on record and say that is a brilliant song. It is way too catchy. It's illegally
Oh yeah.
catchy. Um, but I really like synthwave. I love the electronic pop kind of stuff. I love the Midnight, if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But stuff like that, where it's just easygoing and it's melodically very simple, but it's good background music. I like that stuff a lot. So it's not really a guilty pleasure. I'm trying to think if I actually do like a band I'm embarrassed of, but I
You don't necessarily have to be embarrassed. More like
don't think I
stuff
do.
people don't expect you to listen to, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, synth pop for me. Yeah, you put that on. Great road trip music. Good
Oh
stuff.
yeah, for sure. Now we move on to probably my favorite topic of every podcast. I call it gear talk, great talk. I need like some sort of wash with sparkles and stuff that says gear talk, great talk in that old like 90s CGI font. But yeah, gear talk, great talk. You gotta tell me what gear you're using. You can go into as much detail as you want, as little detail as you want. Does not matter as long as we get the goods on the gear.
John, do you have your bass in there?
Yep, I do.
Oh,
So,
the bass. His Lakeland is badass.
Ooh.
yep, Lakeland, my Skyline, 5 string. Pretty much every Diatheke song out there right now has this. It's my only bass, so yeah, don't really have a choice. I do plan on getting something different though, because that bass it's really not a metal bass. It is very hard to play. It's just big. It's got like an extra long scale length. The frets are really wide. And for anything fast or riffy, it's like, ugh, it is very burdensome. But it's still got a killer sound anyway. Um, Amp wise, it's actually it's behind Dallas. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
bass amp that I'm gonna be using anyway. It's crap, what is it? It's
it's a SWR Working Pro stack. The bottom one is a 15 inch and the top one is a 2 by 10. And then right now it has a Behringer head, but we're going to be using pedals. Yeah, I mean, that's a great, super loud. It's like 1500 watts. So
It's insane.
loud. It has like built-in compressor and it sounds amazing. It's great, but it's really clean. It doesn't have like a lot of distortion or anything.
Gotcha.
So it's killers. So I don't know what pedal John's going to use, but it's going to be loud and it is amazing. Our old bass player in Citadel, this was his, but I'm just going to stop what I was going to say next. It would be really funny, but I won't say it. But but anyway, this is like one of the most killer bass cabs I've ever heard in my life. It's insane. It's insanity.
It looks sick.
Yeah, and all very basic. All I'm really gonna do for now until I, can afford something cooler, I'm just gonna shove a dark glass pedal in there, and that's all you really need. So as long as you got some grit.
Dark glass pedals are like what, $400?
Well, I have the basic single, like just regular
Yeah.
microtubes one. It's still really good, but
Just get a Pod Go. That's what I use when I have to do bass.
yeah, I know. I need to
That is
step.
what I use for bass too.
Yeah, literally
Nice.
everything you would need. For Diatheke guitar stuff, I just use a Pod Go. But is that all the gear you want to talk about, John?
Pretty much, because you got a lot of guitars to talk about, dude. So go for it.
I do have a lot of gear. I'm actually, I didn't know we were going to do this. I'm excited now. All right, I'll show you what I got going on the floorboard first. So what I'm doing for Diatheke, I have right now I have a Kernam Ridge overdrive pedal. This
Okay.
is it's the white one. So that pedal board, I mean, sorry, that overdrive is like every overdrive you can think of is in there, but
Okay.
it doesn't work like a standard cut or boost. Has like a post tone, a pre-tone, a mid knob, and then it has and the mood knob. It can switch from everything, like any type of overdrive. To when it's turned all the way up, it kind of starts to get on the realm of fuzz, but it's a killer. I don't use a head. This is the cab I'm using. This is actually just a Boss Waza cab. So it has two greenbacks in it, but it's the Boss Waza one. So instead of being 30 watts, it's 50 watts each. So it sounds the same, but it's way louder. And this is my main cab. I love this cab, even though it's a 2x12. It's really light. I put wheels on the bottom so I can roll it around. But yeah, no head. I keep everything on my pedal board. I'm using a power stage to power the cab.
Okay.
Power stage 170. And then I have my Pod Go, which I'm actually thinking of downsizing and getting the HX Stomp XL because I don't need an expression pedal. All as you can see on hold on. As you can hold on. Almost disconnected. But I only have one stomp on and it's just for the lead channel. So when it's off, it's just overdrive and I have the Kernam just for a little extra with a couple of guitars. But yeah, when I turn that on, it turns on a compressor, two EQs and delay, no, one EQ, delay and reverb. And that's pretty much it. I keep it super simple. I just need to make sure it's louder when I turn it on and add some reverb and delay. But so very basic stuff there, but the guitars, that's what we really want to talk about.
Yeah, get that one, dude.
Nice.
All right. So John, whenever you decide to get rid of your Lakeland, you need to switch over to Ernie Ball.
I'm sure.
This is my Ernie Ball Cutlass. It's the Jason Richardson signature.
Yeah.
I don't listen to Jason Richardson. I do like All That Remains, but I'm not a huge fan of his style of playing.
Yeah, their new record slaps.
Yeah, I love All That Remains. They're like one of my all-time favorite bands. But this guitar, I teach guitar lessons at this place in McKinney, Texas called the Guitar Sanctuary. And they sell like really high-end guitars like PRS. It's doctor and lawyer and dentist type stuff.
Yeah.
But they always give me really good deals. Some dude came in and sold this because these are only made to order. So you can't, so these aren't mass produced. So I saw this and I was like, oh, this is a message. I need to put it. It's a 7-string because they never have good 7-strings in there, especially with a floating trim.
Yeah.
On this one, I put a tremolo on the back so I can block the bridge so I can down tune it without everything going out of tune.
Okay.
But yeah, this is right now my number one guitar that I'm playing for Diatheke. Like I'll be playing the Redeemer live with this, and actually that might be the only one because two of the other songs are in drop D. But I'm sorry, drop A. But yeah, this is the guitar I'm doing live a lot. Now that's the first guitar, but what I'll be playing, the Promise and the Empowerment on live is going to be this one. So this
Oh, yeah.
is LTD Deluxe MH1007, and it has an Evertune on it. And this is what I recorded the whole album on. So it's great. I never had to tune it ever. I would just change the strings after every song. But yeah, I haven't tuned this guitar in like 2 years. I'm finally about to get new strings on it. But yeah, this is like a beast of a guitar. One thing I hate about it is this glossy neck, though.
Yeah.
Your hand just gets stuck on it. So before we go on tour, I'm going to get my guitar tech to
Sand it down.
sand it down and make it really smooth for me. Because I never sanded it because I always thought I was going to sell it because I just didn't really like the way it felt. But
Yeah.
it's never let me down. So I'm going to keep it. But yeah, it's completely stock, nothing crazy, just two EMGs. I think it's an 85 and an 81. Yeah, 7 string. And then the song that I'm going to be doing a couple of drop A songs live, and this is what I'll be doing with those. This is the Schecter Jeff Loomis signature.
Schecters.
Yeah, this is the one from the Creator music video, and right now it's in drop A. So this one also has the tremolo on the back, so it's blocked, so the trim doesn't move. So I have it drop down to drop A. But this is the guitar that I spend 99% of my time playing at home. This is my favorite guitar because it was my dream guitar when I was a teenager. And this is the guitar that I bought that John was like, "Ooh, is that a 7 string?" And then, and then I joined it. Hey, John, what note is this? But yeah,
I refuse.
it was an open B.
Well,
An open B, wasn't it?
Uh, but yeah, this guitar is amazing. I've never had a problem. It also never goes out of tune. I've never had to adjust the truss rod, and I've been playing it every day for 5 years now. But yeah, it is a beast. But those are the guitars I'll be doing that I'll be using live, and then I'm using a wireless transmitter.
Of course.
But as far as live stuff goes, that's pretty much it. The Schecter and the LTD, those are what I did. The rhythm guitars on the album were all with the LTD, and the leads were with the Schecter.
Okay.
Yep.
This is what the people want. Is the gear talk.
Oh yeah. You can see I have a bunch of other stuff. I have a ton of other guitars, but that's all I use for Diatheke. This one right here, I know it looks badass, but it's a $250 Harley Benton.
Dude, don't knock a Harley Benton, man. Those things are
Oh, I know. My wife got me this for my birthday, and it is so fun to play, and it's smaller than a regular one, and I'm not the tallest man in the world. So this thing is just like the perfect size. It's just great. The only thing I changed on it was the bridge because I like the Floyd Rose type of fine tuners.
yeah,
And
yeah.
bridge sucks. It's horrible. I just like the way it looks.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Cheap guitar, it plays great. I didn't really care if I did anything. I just wanted it to look cool. And then I got one more guitar I'll show you. This is another Harley Benton that I customized.
Yes. Those
Yeah.
Bentons are nice.
Yeah, this one just has a less trim on it. I changed these are the stock pickups, but I changed the covers to these engraved ones.
I dig it.
Yeah, and then I put a string butler on the headstock.
Of course.
But the snobs at the guitar store I work at, they clown on me for showing up to teach guitar lessons with this bad boy.
Dallas, didn't you record our Axtell cover with that one?
No, I actually. You want me to grab it here? Hold on.
Oh, is it?
So
All you poor Spotify listeners.
I know all the poor Spotify listeners don't get to see all the coolness. That's why you
All
got
right.
to go to YouTube.
So this one actually has a story behind it. Am I
Oh
allowed?
gosh, that thing.
Am I allowed to say piece of shit?
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
you just did.
So it is a piece of shit. But let me tell you this. So this thing, I am not the original owner. So I'm originally from Arkansas. So there's this guy down there who was lifelong friends. I mean, whose wife was lifelong friends with my mom. And so the dude, one day he kicks the bucket. He played in a bar band his whole life. He kicks the bucket, gives it to this other guy that was in his band. That guy kicks the bucket the week after getting this guitar.
Oh my.
So then my dad ends up getting this guitar. And then my dad gets cancer right after getting the guitar. So this has like some type of curse on it or something. And I think that's pretty cool. I do love a cursed relic. But it has a bunch of tacky stickers on it. I took
Oh
out
yeah.
it used to have a bunch of other ones that were kind of racist. It's like so it used to have some questionable stickers on it. And I put some stupid ones like this one's from Spaceballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little Pikachu here. I got some Pokeballs, all the Pokeballs right there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I got these were the ones that were already on there on the back. I liked those. But yeah, this guitar at some point was set up as a lefty. So somebody
Okay.
lefty at some point. So so they swapped the pickups around. So whenever I got the guitar, it was converted back to a righty again, but
Okay.
they never changed the switch. So our Embrace cover was actually all recorded on the neck pickup, and then the leads were recorded here. So yeah, that was all jacked up, and because I didn't really realize that something was wrong with it until we already finished the song and sent it off to have it mixed and mastered. The engineer he sent one of our guy Mike a message saying there's something wrong with the guitars. There's just no bite to them. And I was like, somebody tell him that I accidentally recorded with just the neck pickup. It has Seymour Duncans in it, and
Yeah.
like nice electronics. But this is like the worst quality guitar. It's been like repainted a bunch of times. Kind of smells like ass. But yeah, this is what was recorded on it. I think the song turned out all right, and it
Oh,
has
yeah.
a curse. I keep it because I thought about taking the pickups out and taking out the nice electronics because it has really good pots in it and a good
Yeah.
switch. But I am worried about it killing me.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, interesting guitar, super light, has the Pharaoh's curse.
Yeah, and because
Don't pass
Dallas
that on
didn't,
to anybody.
because Dallas didn't re-record it, at least I don't think he did.
No, I did.
Um,
Yeah.
the engineer was like, "Well, good thing we have three bass takes anyway. I'll just use all of those." I'm like, "You didn't have to." So for some reason, that's what happened on Embrace. That's all just very like boomy heavy, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you got to get your bite somewhere, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. Well, for all you listeners on the Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, sucks to suck. But you didn't get to see all the cool guitars. But let's move on. Now, I always ask this question, even when people put out brand new records, even the week before. I've had people put out a song a week after, and I'll still ask them, new music?
Always.
Of course.
Hopefully, it won't take as long because I think the one of the big reasons why the album took so long is mainly because of the lineup. It was just never really settled. There were a couple big holes for a long time. One of those being who's doing vocals, because Mike and I, as you can tell from Bereavement, Magnify, and Splendor, we're not the best at it. And that's why we had to get Peter. And then anything crazy guitar wise, well, maybe not even that, but just like knowing that we're not limited like guitar wise, because Dallas is just, he's got it.
Yeah.
Since I know all of the working parts now and everyone's strength, I think writing wise, we will be a lot faster. And we are already working on a couple new ideas, but I can't say anything else because don't want to jinx anything. So that's it.
That's fair. That's fair. You don't want that guitar curse coming after you.
No way.
That's okay. It's gonna come for you. Okay. Well, of course, we also have to talk about upcoming shows, upcoming events that you're playing. What you got for me?
Yeah. You want me to say this, Dallas, or do you want to?
You go ahead, buddy. I feel like I've been talking for 10 minutes.
Well, that's a lot of stinking cool guitars. Okay, so yes, Diatheke live. Fun fact, we never really have played live before. We did a couple times way back in the day, but yeah, we are having an album celebration mini tour, if you can call it that, coming up. It'll be May 29th through June 1st. The 29th, we will be in Nashville with our buddies in Abated Massive Flesh, which they are brutally heavy. So good live. At the Cobra. Then that Friday, the 30th, we will be at Richmond, Kentucky at a place called Enrich. It'll be us and a few other bands there. And then Saturday, we'll be in Jonesboro, Arkansas at a place called, I think it's called Something Art Cafe or something like that. It
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
kind of like a cool place. And then we'll end our little run in our hometown, Dallas, June 1st at Three Links, and that'll be kind of our big headline night. We'll play for an hour. It'll be fun. So those are our four immediate shows coming up, but we have some summer plans we're trying to nail down to see if we can do them. But yeah, just of course keep an eye out. Probably Facebook and Instagram are the easiest ways to keep up with our whereabouts. Mike is really good at the social media stuff too. So, but yeah, if you live anywhere near those four towns, Nashville, like Lexington, Kentucky-ish area, Jonesboro or Dallas, we'd love to see you guys. Watch us be nervous on stage because I'm sure we will be.
I actually won't be nervous because I don't have stage fright and I practice every day. I think you guys should be nervous because I'm going to be fine.
No, I'll be fine too, but
Well,
I'm more
Nashville's
nervous,
only
like
7 hours.
technically, because
I
there's
went
things that can happen. What if the tracks go berserk, or what if stuff doesn't work? Those are the things I'm nervous about.
I won't allow that to happen. I played through with the twax yesterday and I was flawless except for that one part in the creator. Yeah, I butchered that.
Yeah, but that's to be expected. That part's impossible anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking about changing it for life because it's really, really
I've told you you could over and over again.
but I really, it's an ego thing at this point. Um, yeah, I'm super excited for our tour that's coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm definitely gonna try to make it out to the Nashville date if I can. So
Oh,
I
sweet.
will be there.
Dang,
Where
yeah. That'd be cool to meet you in person, man.
Yeah. So we're down to our last few questions. This is always my favorite. I stole this from another podcast, and he doesn't do it anymore, so it's mine now.
Yep.
Dream Festival. You guys are going to make your own festival between the two of you, and the only stipulation is that you guys will be playing.
my dream festival would have travel and housing and food taken care of
It
first
will
and
be
foremost.
taken care of in this Dream Festival thing. We're gonna go over the specifics of that too. So it's all taken care of. And any band living or dead can come back. The only stipulation about the dead bands is you have to explain how they came back to life.
Well, we're definitely getting the original Pantera back.
Oh yeah.
That's what's my first choice.
But how, Dallas? How are they going to come back?
Dragon Balls.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Shinron can bring them back once, you know.
Yep, that would work. Um, yeah, so Pantera. I would also want Black Dahlia Murder with Brandon Ellis still in the band, and also with you know, all members alive. Yeah, Dragon Balls for them too. Yeah, I just use the Dragon Balls, and also Jimi Hendrix would have to be there too.
Oh yeah. I think Jimi Hendrix needs to do a special set with Black Dahlia Murder.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
All along the Watchtower matchup.
Yeah. Oh, can I choose one more band?
Go for it.
Oh man, I would love to have Tom Waits there.
Oh yeah, there you
Tom Waits would have to be there. He's headlining.
Okay.
go.
Okay, we got our headliner. We got one of them.
Yes. As long as you throw Fallujah and Scar Symmetry in there, I will be a happy camper.
There we go.
Let's see, is there anyone else though? Oh,
Not for a cowboy.
Oh, that's a good one. They're pretty good live,
Oh yeah.
especially in a festival setting. But they're always toward the end of the night, I find. I
oh,
think
We'd have
we, we,
what?
we, we could throw Trivium in there too. They're great live.
Oh yeah, and Devin Townsend, of course.
Yes, there we go. Okay,
Yep.
seal it. No more. That's it. We just made the perfect set list.
Is it his solo stuff or the Devin? Well, I guess the Devin Townsend project is his solo stuff too.
You
But
mean strapping young lad?
yeah, are we doing some strapping young lad stuff?
I actually prefer the casualties of cool over everything else that he's done.
Fair though.
So,
Fair.
I mean, Casualties of Cool is very bluesy. I went to see the Devin Townsend project in Dallas, and he had like COVID or something. Anyway, he was too sick to do the set. So he flew in the girl who he did the album with just for that one show, and they did the Casualties of Cool set instead. That was amazing. That was so cool to see live because I thought I missed that train. I was like, man, I'm never going to see Casualties of Cool live. And then he did it.
Was that Anake? Oh, what's her name? I
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's incredible.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. I gotta say, my favorite is Epic Cloud.
Yeah, that album rocks, dude.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, their discography is so big. Let me just pull it up first so I don't forget. Because what's the oh, you can't go wrong with Ziltoid, man. That stuff is so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. And then
But
have him have Buckethead as a guest player.
Oh man, I'd also want to have Encipher there.
Okay.
oh yeah, nice.
I want Encipher and Winter Sun, despite any type of awkward feelings.
Oh, Addicted is a great record.
Oh, yeah, that's a great album.
And he's currently touring on his Power Nerd record.
Oh yeah, have you heard it yet?
I've heard the singles when they released. I have not heard the full record
It's
yet.
probably his best work.
Okay. I watched the videos as they came out, and then when the album actually dropped, I don't remember what I was doing that week, and then it completely buzzed right by me. And I hate when that happens because I'll be like, I'm so excited for these new records. And then a record will just fly right by me, and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to listen to that. I think I did.
Yeah.
I almost did that with the new Deaf Heaven record.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we gotta ask. We've got the bands locked down. Where is this festival gonna be at?
Oh
Somewhere,
man. Or what?
somewhere in Europe.
A beach in Europe. I'm
Yes,
on a beach.
I like it.
sounds fun. Or like maybe one of the Nordic countries. Norway or Sweden would be really cool to go to.
That would be pretty cool. Okay, so we gotta ask, what's the catering? You
Jimmy
can get
John's.
catering from anywhere.
Come on, man. Fajitas, dude.
Okay. We're gonna have like a fajita, make your own fajita buffet.
Yes, 100%. Yes. And it's bottomless.
Ooh.
Actually, I want Buffalo Wild Wings instead.
Oh, come on, man. You just want glorified chicken nuggets with sauce on
They
them?
show UFC fights at Buffalo Wild Wings now.
That
Okay.
they do.
Yeah, whenever I worked there back in like 2012, 13, they only did boxing and they were like, we'll probably never do UFC. And here we are.
Yep. And it is beautiful.
It is, it's amazing.
And I do like a good dry rub. Oh,
Yeah, I like their Thai curry a lot.
yeah. Okay. And then we also have to ask, what's the accommodations? Where you
Uh,
staying? You gonna bum it
ooh,
out in the woods, hanging from the trees? You gonna be at a
I would want
five-star
to be
hotel?
an RV within walking distance to the stage.
Yep, that would be sick.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't like driving from a hotel to anywhere. I don't like having to go drive back to the hotel. Anywhere that I can just walk, hopefully within 100 yards.
We'll make it 105 yards.
Oh, that's too much.
I'll carry you for 5 of those yards.
Hey, there you go. And then lastly, this will finish it out for all the marbles. What time are you guys gonna play?
Oh, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. I like it.
You can't have any of the other ones headline though if you do that.
Yeah, you can. You can headline at 1 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I would like to have the bigger band at 1 a.m. That way they're not all gone by the time we go on at 1 a.m.
I guess that's true. I'll say 9.
Yeah. You know what? I think 9:30 is a good middle ground because it's not too late and it's not too early.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't like playing in Dallas. A lot of the times they want music to go on until 1 a.m. and I am not about that.
Nah.
I want to be out of there by 11.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I went to my wife and I went to go see it was Tech Nine, Jerish Johnson, Black Veil Brides, Dance Gavin Dance, and Falling in Reverse.
Dance Gavin Dance puts on a pretty good live show.
Oh, they were fantastic. Um, we got we got there early enough to listen to Falling in Reverse's sound check, which was really cool. Like we got there midday that day and hung out around the town. But dude, it was like 10:30 by the time Dance Gavin Dance finished. And my
Oh,
wife was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it through the entire Falling in Reverse."
that sucks.
And I was like, "That's fair. That's fair." We got to see them earlier in the day, from the parking garage, watching their sound checks. We got our own little personal gig. So we dug it. And then Tech Nine was very interesting because y'all know Tech Nine. He's a rapper, but he has his own metal band he takes with him all the time now.
Oh, we got to add body count to the festival.
Yes.
We got body count. I love body count. Ice T is amazing.
Dude, Body Count is such a great band.
Yeah, when you brought up Tech Nine's band, I was like, oh, I can't believe I forgot about body count.
I don't think they get enough credit.
They don't. John knows. Whenever what was it? Talk Shit Get Shot came out, I was playing that song 24/7.
Yep.
And it's a great song.
Love that album. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for us. Now, I'm going to give you guys the floor to do your plugs, do your shout outs, whatever you like. And then we got one more question at the end.
All right, mainly just keep in touch with us on Facebook or Instagram. You can find us Diatheke Music. We'd love to see you come out to this little tour we're doing in celebration of our new record, And the Word Was God, which is streaming everywhere now. If you like proggy death metal stuff with a lot of twists and turns and really cool everything, at least in our opinion, go check it out. You'll probably like it. And thank you all for supporting so far. We've had really good feedback on everything. And pretty much it. Dallas, you got anything else?
Yeah, come check us out on tour at the end of May,
Yeah.
beginning of June, and see if we are playing near you. And you should come out and see us. Follow me on Instagram. Just look up Dallas McNeely. I post about my guitars and everything. And I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers before the day that I die.
There you
You heard
go.
him. Make it happen.
Hopefully it's not soon because of that guitar. Okay. Well, I gotta ask the last question to end this out. What is the song from you guys that you would like to have as the outro song for the episode?
Well, how much time do you have?
As much as you want.
Mm, what do you think, Dallas? I'll let you pick.
Empowerment
Empowerment.
doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, for some reason it doesn't, but it should. So do the empowerment.
That's the
Empowerment
easiest
it shall
one.
be.
Hardest on drums, easiest on guitar.
I like it. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun chatting with you guys. And sorry to the Spotify viewers, you're gonna have to go and see the YouTube video to
Yeah,
see.
go on YouTube. You're missing out, man.
That's where we get all the fun video stuff. Although I think you can now put stuff on Spotify that's video, but I'm too late for that. So deal with it. We're doing Garza podcast style, video only. Thank you guys for coming out. Ciao. On the Zoom.
See you later.
All right.
Mullins Over Music Podcast, episode 21, with your host, producer, editor, all that stuff, me, Austin Mullins. Special thanks to guests John Osborn and Dallas McNeely of Diatheke for coming on the podcast. Song title for the end credit song is The Empowerment by the artist Diatheke. Check them out on all their platforms. Check out their new record, And the Word Was God, on Spotify, Apple Music, and more. Special thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. And yeah, thank you guys. And until next time, peace out. And you know what they say, peace and chicken grease.
The first on your son.